and welcome back. Now, I've been trying to start playing Pillars of Eternity for a long time, but sadly I didn't really have the ability or the access to. Now I got it, and I've been stoked ever since. So, Pillars of Eternity is a very interesting role-playing game thing. So I was very happy to kind of play it. So actually kind of skipped the starting loading time thing because it just dragged on for years and years, and I will just if there is a long loading time, I will just kind of pause the game, wait for it to load, and unpause it. And there's a lot of talking in this game, so I will just kind of not comment on many stuff. So the first thing about our character, I looked at it before starting the video, of course, and I saw that it was very interesting and similar to many other games that give you a character creation, but it's not like Skyrim, where you kind of choose some starting things like your race, your sex, and stuff like that. But and then you can just kind of choose if you want to be a mage for a while, and then you can skip. You can swap and become a warrior. It doesn't really it in Skyrim it doesn't really matter, but in here you have a lot of choices. But once you kind of make those choices, you are set. So I chose I'm male, and I've chosen this race. It's the godlike. So the godlikes are children of the Kith, civilized races who have been blessed with the physical aspects associated with the gods. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike uh, are unable to wear protective headgear, as it's near to impossible to find anything that fits. So no head, no nothing. And whatever, it does give us some dexterity and some intellect. So godlike it is. So there are four types of godlikes. There is the death godlike, the fire godlike, the moon, and the nature one. So the death godlikes are the most disgusting of their kind. Strange growths cover their eyes, or in some cases entire face, giving them the sinister appearance. The a sinister appearance. The growths are transparent for the godlike, but oblique from the outside. Obliquous, whatever. So this just gives us death ushers. When death godlikes attack an enemy with 25% or less endurance, their damage is increased. So there are the fire godlikes. The bodies of fire godlikes are often resemble hot metal, burnt wood, or stone, with harmless flames that erupt from the cracks in their skin, as you can see. It looks pretty awesome, so I might actually become a fire godlike. But Battleforge, when reduced below 50% endurance, fire godlikes glow like metal in a forge, gaining damage reduction and doing a small amount of fire damage to any creature who hits them in melee. So I am kind of planning to become a wizard. So a fire godlike which just fights from behind doesn't really sound that good. So a moon godlike are the most tolerated of the godlikes, while their skin tone and large moon-like growth on their foreheads may be strange to some. Their appearance are generally considered more palatable by the other kith. Sailors have many beliefs about the moon godlike and their propensity to bring luck, though there is little agreement as to what kind of luck they tend to bring. So Silver Tide, every encounter when reduced to below 75, 50 or 25 endurance, Moon Godlike generate waves of healing moonlight that restores endurance to them and their allies. And then there is the last one, the Nature Godlike. Nature Godlikes appear to be a fusion of human and animal features, often covered by plants, moss, or fungi. This has led to a common stigma that they are diseased, and many are killed at birth because of it. So Wellspring in Life grants bonus to might, constitution, and dexterity when endurance is below 50. So I don't need much of these. I don't even need them. So I would become a moon godlike, even though they look very, very weird. So I'm going to be an elf. Just why not, right? Because I don't really like the other races. And I'm going to be a wizard. So the masters of academic magic wizards are students of the arcane, traditions that stretch back beyond the boundaries of recorded history. Wizards are a highly organized group, often forming academies or guilds devoted to research and development in magical studies. So these guys are very interesting. They're going as the starting ability they get the arcane assault. Of course, as we continue the game, more and more abilities will be gained, and more spells will be gained, and stuff like that. So arcane assault is a mid-range attack that hits a small area from raw damage and can leave targets dazed. Wizards have access to a variety of offensive and personal defensive spells. Unlike priests and druids, wizards learn individual spells that they store in the cast directly from their grimmers. So I will get 2 of lore, 1 in mechanics, endurance. Everything is very low because you are kind of a ranged attack guy, so you won't have that much endurance and stuff, but you will have a lot of power in spellery and stuff like that, in intellect. So I was thinking of, because I'm very much a ranged attack dude, I really like those classes. Like, I was thinking to become a cipher, even though they do start with a sword and knife apparently. I did think of starting with a cipher because it's very interesting. I won't read it all, but ciphers kind of have the ability to directly contact and manipulate another person's soul or psyche. So that's pretty interesting. It gives you stealth, lore, and mechanics. But I did kind of think that these guys would have more of a problem than wizards, and they would it would be he will become very much more melee focused, which I don't really like. I wasn't really thinking of a ranger because he's more like a hunter stuff. Ranger hunter, apparently they're used have the same meaning now. So I wasn't really thinking to become a ranger, but I did read through it, and it's kind of interesting. You can have animal friends like hunters in World of Warcraft, and then there was this chanter guy, who so they have kind of chant magic things. All chanters can continually speak chants and made up magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects. So he's kind of a priest. He's just a small variation of a priest, which you also have as a class, and he's melee apparently in the start. So priests, like in World of Warcraft, just heal stuff and give you buffs and stuff like that. So I was also looking at the monk, which was weird. It's an interesting class. The game tends to kind of lock a lot of the time. Just a second. Okay. Monks belong to the variety fighting orders that have sprung up in eastern reaches over the past few centuries. So monks in WoW, but I still chose the wizards. So next, there's the spells. So I have 4 spells. I can choose 4 spells as my starting time. I didn't look through these, so we'll have to read through all of them. So there's the Archemir's Dazzling Light, which is an overwhelms anyone in the area of effect with a brilliant and bewildering pyrotechnic display, decreasing their will and leaving them dazed. Okay, does it do any damage? It doesn't, so not really. Chill Fog calls a blindingly white icy fog into existence, inflicting blindness on anyone entering the and freeze damage over time when anyone in the area is affected. So it has a 10-meter range, a 2.5-meter radius area of effect, and it does some AoE damage and stuff like that. It removes some, I don't know, maybe. I would like to concentrate a little bit on the arcane because that's more interesting, but whatever. Concel Hot's parasitic staff. Creates a glowing quarterstaff of pure energy for the wizard to wield, granted bonus chance to hit and giving the wizard endurance with each successful strike. So it just gives you more endurance when you summon it. Okay, grants a caster over of otherworldly sight, resulting in pre I don't know occurrence of short period preternatural. What I've never heard that word. Whatever. It just accuracy. You gain 15 accuracy, which could be good. Fan flames. So creates a cone of fire in front of the caster. I will choose this one because, well, it's kind of interesting. A wizard's double. So it creates a duplicate of the caster to distract enemies, granting the caster a high deflection bonus against a signal attack. No thank you. Thrust of Tattered Veils, a quick strike of crushing force dealing little damage but having a high chance of disrupting enemies' spellcasters. So this is like a deflection thing, but I don't know. A spirit shield I'm not even going to read because no thank you for shields. I'm taking this, by the way. Coats the ground in slick, oily-like substance, inflicting knockdown on anyone in the area affected. Yes, and these are minor missiles. Jolting touch. Let's read this one. A bolt of electricity jumps from... Oh, okay. So this is like you hit one enemy and then the bolt just goes everywhere. So we're just taking these four for now, and then we'll choose better ones. So, I am going to remove a little bit of constitution, of course, letting it at 10, and I'm going to add that all to intellect. It might be a little bit too loud. I will kind of see how everything is working later. I have 17 might, so let's remove one more and add it to intellect. And this is fine for now. Okay, so I actually might read through this. Might represent character's physical and spiritual strength. So for every point of might, so all these points are the same, I believe. Highly recommended for a wizard. 16 might I have right now, and it gives me damage and healing for the shoot. Constitution. Constitution is the combination of the character overall health and stamina. So, okay, dexterity is the abstraction of a character's hand-eye coordination, balance, and overall grace. So, recommended for a wizard, not highly recommended, so it's like more secondary. And as dexterity as a godlike, we have 1, so +1, okay? Perception represents the character's sense of, as well as their instinctive ability to pick up on details. So dexterity, perspection is fine. Intellect represents the character's logic and reasoning capabilities, so that's very important as a wizard. And resolve reflects the character's internal drive, determination, fearlessness, and emotional intensity. So we can gain these points later, but for right now they're fine, I guess. So there are also cultures. So I will choose Old Vaillia. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Vaillia is now crumbled remains of an empire warring merchant nations, counting many humans and dwarves among the ranks. The Old Vaillian country are still forced to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. This gives us 1 intellect. I'm not going to read through all of these, but I'm just going to kind of tell you that this is... Everyone has this special look, by the way, so whatever. And then there's the backgrounds that I'm not choosing slave. I kind of went through all of these and I just picked up slave. So let's read through aristocrats. I'm going to read through all of these though. You've lived your life amongst the nobility. Your days have been marked by lavish meals and extravagant parties. Your conversations peppered with talk of pedigree and bloodlines. So, of course, while you're very noble, you get a lot of knowledge about stuff, and you get lore, which is represents the character's accumulation of miscellaneous knowledge and trivia. A colonist, you were part of a group that found a fledgling colony in a distant land, so it gives you survival, allows characters to make better use of the food and potions items they find. A drifter, you never quite fit in no matter where you go. Each new town is just a place for the rest briefly before moving on to the next. So it gives you stealth, allows characters in any class to attempt to avoid being seen or heard, and survival, allows characters to make better use of food and potions, as we read in the colonists. Laborers, your life has been spent in the study of your craft, so it gives us athletics. Adventuring is tiring work. Traveling, fighting, and scrambling up fallen statues can take its toll. Or mechanic, traps and locks can be a problem for even the toughest adventurers. Training their resources and maiming or killing those who are unfortunate enough to trigger an unseen floor plate. Merchant gives us lore and mechanics. You've traded goods from all over the world, pairing items and buyers of our kind. So of course you get some lore and mechanics because you've been talking and building stuff. Artists also gives you lore, so aristocrats and artists are pretty the same. You've always felt driven to express yourself creatively. The structure and rigid control of others' pursuits have never satisfied in the same way. Dissident, you've made a name for yourself as a troublemaker, of course. Stealth and lore. A hunter, which we won't become, of course. You've lived from the thrill of a chase. And a mercenary. Blade and battle is the way of your life. And slave, so you've never known freedom. Shackles and chains have bound your existence, and some has told you what to do your entire life. So I will pick artists just to have some fun, and I will pick artists because it will give us some lore. Now, primarily, as you can see, these are all close appearance stuff, so I will just have them a little bit like this color, and then the secondary color is going to be of course down here is going to be another shade of blue. Okay, maybe not a blue. So there are a couple of heads that we can choose from. This one, and this one. So this one is very weird, so of course I'm going to choose that one. And now there are portraits. Of course, portrait represents who you see in like the top left corner or something. So I'm just going to choose the first godlike I see, just to have some fun. A moon godlike preferably. Okay, please. Just this one looks so weird. This is a death godlike. Nature, fire, moon, I believe, but that's a girl, not really. Okay. I can't find any. This one though is beautiful, but I'm going to choose this one because this one is a moon godlike. And a noble male voice. Okay, so we're just going to go with what kind of name? I'm just writing Viking right here because that's weird, and let's accept it. And so we're done actually. Okay, that's a lot of sound in my end. Journey of the Gilded Vale. Okay, the caravan master finishes the rest of the group. His bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as it for emphasis. So, you did miss the first cutscene, so we were kind of going into a new settlement and something like colonization or something. So I'm just going to let him speak. There is some kind of speaking mechanic that will I will kind of check and fix after I finish this video, but right now I'm going to read everything. Everybody stays close to the wagons. Got it. Stay out of the woods, and the beasts take you if you were planning to stroll through those ruins up there. He nods towards a looming black mass on the hillside. Whole areas crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out, understood? At least the caravan master turns to you. At last the caravan turns to you, frowning, and he looks you over. Touch of the rumbling rot could be. There's a singing beetle around here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards, lest you don't drink water course, which case you'll be dead in a day. Okay, thank you. There's a berry grows with this part, small and pink, called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the front makes you tea from it. So he's actually telling me for a bush something. So I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here. He nods in your direction. So I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to ask a lot of questions because I'm tired of reading everything. Hold on, take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot, but you drop dead. I don't want looking for the body at a got a schedule to keep. Okay. So this one, Kaliska, is my companion. He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead. Okay, no promises. Thank you. What kind of guide says something like that? Kind you can afford. Don't listen to her. You're in good hands, and I pay too well, if anything. And okay, off with you. Heldin should have supplies. See that you equip before you head out without country, whatever, and the prologue. So okay, guys, I will just finish this episode right here, and this episode is more like of a review type of thing, because I will just start a whole new run of a kind, a walkthrough, but this one will be a review and first episode stuff. So if you did like this video, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.